guess Bitcoin on the week. Bitcoin on the week. Didn't go to sleep early enough last night. Dogs woke me up way too early. They've already eaten and they're taking a nap, which sounds good because it's cold here now. It's wintertime. Bitcoin on the week. Bitcoin on the week. Well, sideways, right? I mean, even looks sideways to me the last 3 weeks on the week. That's doesn't get more sideways to me. So I don't know. We've got 2.5 days left on this weekly candle. It is Friday morning. The markets open in a little less than an hour. We'll see what's going on. Bitcoin could still pull back, but I don't see it happening. I don't see much of a happen. I don't see much of a pullback happening. If we look at the day, right, we've got a pretty serious channel. And if we expand this, hey, good morning, Tuan. How is it in your neck of the woods right now? Is it snowing? Is it raining? Is it hot and sunny? Is it springtime? What's going on where you're at? Because right now it's cold. But man, on the day, that could be sideways for a long time. So I'm not going to worry about it. And of course, right? You can always see a triangle. And this one, yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we're still in a channel for a few more days, or if we drop down to the closer to the EMA on the daily, right? And then the 4 hour, the RSI is looking fairly weak, which is good for us. If we kind of continue slowly down without losing much price action, that could work to our advantage. But Bitcoin is looking the same. If exciting things were happening, maybe I would jump on more often. Yes. Yes. Um, so I wanted to jump back to the week, and I'm just going to look at the stuff that I'm looking at right now, right? Let's order this by, look at Crow. That's Crow this week, and that's 70% increase. So I'm not sure how I feel about Crow. I have the card, and that's how I buy dog food is with some cryptocurrency. But basically, I don't know how I feel about this. I obviously I wouldn't be buying into it. But let's look at BNB on the week, and BNB is looking really good to me on the week, right? I mean that is a nice steady progression, and we can almost guarantee that we're going to get a six and a 5 and a 6, maybe a 7 candle up. So that's like another guaranteed 1 to 2 more weeks of upside on BNB. If we look at Cake, Cake doesn't quite look the same. there's more room for it to nuts around. But yeah, BNB is looking good so far. I'm excited to see what it does on the day, right? Because I think the last time that I was talking, what I'm always interested in is that 1 2 up to a 9 and see if that gives some kind of a layup. Now this is a pretty big 9 candle to begin with, so I will be watching BNB, and I may be swapping out BNB for USD in a few hours. And I'm guessing that the times that I'm really going to be looking to make that decision will probably be around noon CST, would be my first guess if we drop down to the 4 hour. So we still got 2 hours left on this candle, and that would put us in at about 11 o'clock. So, wow, it's already 8:43. So, do, 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 do. Yeah, so if we look at it on the 2 hour, look at that on the 2 hour. Okay, so I've been falling into the 2 hour more and more in the last month or so than I have ever before because of the TD sequential. So this is really strong. This could be that we got 1, 2, and then the big 3 bump that I'm talking about sometimes. Plus, on the TD sequential, it could be a good layup, but I'm looking for it to fall here, right? Because what goes up must come down. So I do want that to come down a little bit. And on the 2 hour, I don't think that's going to hurt the spread very much. We'll go to the 4 hour again. And yeah, I would check that, and I would check BNB in like 2 hours, and then I would check that on the 2 hour and the 4 hour, and I would make a decision at that point, because it could very well be a 5 and then starting a 6 down, right? But very happy everything's in BNB right now, to be honest with you. Cake, love cake. It just broke 20 not too long ago. What when did it break 20? Let's do that on the hour. Okay, so the last 2 hours, it's been struggling. Is there any? There's like no resistance lines. I guess that would be the resistance line, right? If we come and connect that up, sort of. But leave that solid so I know it's my line. Um, but yeah, cake on the 1 hour hit a resistance. It would be nice to see this this work though, because that would be good for. Let's go. Let's zoom out here on the time frame. Hmm. BNB would need a pretty serious run up right now, which it's looking like it might do. And then if cake were to follow, because right now that's what cake is doing, is it's following. It's been following in percentage up and down uh, for the last couple days, right? BNB is always pulling ahead, it seems, the last few days, but that might change if we look at this. So the reason is because right now Pancake Swap is still my preferred method for compounding interest, and I pulled out my pancake swap um, for BNB a few days ago, and I've been waiting for it to go down. And on the 4 hour here, oh gee, if you look at this, this is dismal. Um, I mean, really, where I should have sold is way, way, way back up here days and days ago. But I was auto compounding, so I really didn't worry about it. But even here on the 1 day, right, I got a buy signal here. I got a 9 here telling me to don't not to buy in. I did not get a 2 trading above the 1, and it just kept going down. I did not get a 2 trading above the 1, and it just kept going down. And right now, we're seeing that 9. Let's expand the hell out of that so we can look at it, right? We're seeing that 9 with the green saying there may be some more downside on the daily. So this may be a serious trend where BNB is pulling away on price from. So what I always say, things happen in threes, and it's already happened 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Each time that 9 getting smaller, which is coincidence, right? And I believe in coincidence, but I don't trust coincidence. Um, but yeah, so still in BNB. Um, I'm I'm not displeased right now, and I'm not seeing it running out of steam in the next few hours, although it could. That's what I meant though, is watch this 2, and there we are with the 2, with an indecision doji with 10 minutes left on the 2 hour, which is not that bad, really. We see plenty of run-ups with dirty red candles in there. Vet. So I think the last time that I was talking about Vet, I was saying, people were asking me, what was it? I was asked by one group of people when it was, I want to say 10 cents. And then another group of people when it was 12 cents. And then another group when it was 13 cents. And I said that it looked like it was a fairly good buy. So that would have been in this wiggly area here over those days, which was when people first asked me about VeChain. And then, yeah, I would be happy if I got in on this at 10, 12, and 13. On the day it looks good. The thing is I don't know if VeChain is going to have this momentum that it's seeing right now on the daily, right? Because on the 4 hour, it is looking a little rough, right? So this is telling you to take your profit and maybe look for a dip. It's saying that there could be more upside, and we're getting a good spread here on the EMA. So if you're in VeChain, I'm in VeChain, or yeah, congratulations, Vet. I think Vet paid off. Audio is on its way back. I kind of had faith in that. Algo is back into profit. ADA is so I should have gotten rid of ADA a long time ago. You get to see my mistakes. If you're trading, right, this is the worst thing that you could possibly see, right? Is this. Is just boom. And this was not my original stop loss. My original stop loss was something like 7%, something like that, right? So I just didn't set a stop loss, said screw it. It's been going sideways and slightly down ever since. This is a huge failed trade. However, it wasn't a big one. So all these other things, well, cake is not in the picture, but all these other things that are in profit, that one ADA is the only one that, and I'm going to hold on to it because ADA is crazy. ADA does this; it goes sideways forever. Um, Uniswap is getting close to being back into profit, and these are things that I'm expecting them to go big, right? BTC, we just talked about that. 1 inch is, I still have 1 inch, and it is still in, 70% profit. So I pulled out my whole investment plus, and I still have my original dollar amount that I bought in 1 inch when I started that trip. So keep that in mind. Pull your money out. Do that. I have been doing that, and this is Friday, and depending on how this weekend looks, normally I don't like weekends, and I dump a lot of stuff like Thursday night, Friday morning, and I just don't even look at what's going on over the weekend. And I gotta say, it feels to me like most of the time it's not worth trading, it's not worth watching during the weekend. You can just assume that it's going to be a little disappointing until Sunday afternoon, CST time, right? And a little upward. Um, but we're getting into a volatile time in this bull market, or we should be if we're using BTC as our thing. I'll just explain the thinking, right? Is this is fairly volatile in here, right? This is just upward movement. This is what everybody thinks Bitcoin should be doing every day, is just constantly going up. But I'm expecting some pretty heavy movement here, that especially the we're not getting any closer to the EMA on the daily for that. So for Bitcoin. So I'm expecting some real volatility, and real volatility is a drop, right? And when Bitcoin drops, everything drops. And on the week, right, we're already up here on our RSI on the week, and we're really far already. We can push up a little more. Don't get me wrong, from the EMA, but we're up there. And what's saving us is we're just kind of struggling at this resistance here at this 62K, 62.5. Um, and then Ethereum looks outstanding on the week. If you bought Ethereum uh, 4 or 5 weeks ago, congratulations. You are winning the game. That is really nice. That is a good setup. Ethereum, when it runs up like this, it almost always hits a 7 candle. So that's like an easy 2 more weeks of upside for Ethereum. So I don't think I would get rid of Ethereum. And look at what happens when Ethereum hits a pretty good 9, right? It just goes. So you never know. We could be seeing a run. I'm not saying we could be seeing the parabolic, but we could be seeing a run forming. And that's what I'm looking at. Sushi on the week, right? That's a good candle. 1, 2 for the week. I'm not going to complain about that. And then Sol, right? So you never know. We may get a whole nother week, or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks out of Sol. Um, what does that look like on the day, though? So yeah, you're looking for the dip. You are looking for the dip on Sol would be my guess. And that's what's gonna happen. So we got 2 hours left on this 4 hour candle. That's kind of what's gonna happen is you're gonna get a couple sideways and then it's gonna go up. So look for the dip on Sol if you're not into Sol. Sol is a good one. I don't know why, but when I was first looking at Sol, which was like back here and I didn't buy, for some reason I just thought, oh man, I need to wait for a good dip. And then a good dip happened and then it was going up and I was like, oh shit, I can't miss this dip. But thinking that it might go up further, but for some reason I was thinking that this could go to 500, I think. It's such a solid project. Oh, yes, transaction speed. Right. So this Sol choked really hard on some crazy number of transactions per second. Uh, and the fact that it even made it close to that number of transactions per second was just blew me away. It's a centralized coin, so it's not a decentralized coin, but that transaction speed is uh, what's Harmony one? Twan, what is that? What is Harmony one? Okay, let's look at this. Let's look at that, and then let's also pull up the BTC. Let's look at the BTC first. And oh, we got a lot of data. Yeah, we would. So let's go to the week and see how much we got. Yeah, that's a dirty 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So the less known a coin is, that's that's gonna be seen. It's fairly volatile on the day, but we got 9 hours left on this. I would be watching this for a two. Wow, this is actually, yeah, this is looking really good. Wow, that's a good one to throw out. Holy cow. On the day, it's looking fantastic. It's got it's got the same gap here that a lot of the other successful coins right now are having on the EMA. Its RSI is ready. It's about to pop a green dot on the VMC cipher, and the 4 hour is already kind of what I like to see. Actually, is not that much of an action. Well, I would wait for. Well, let's look at it on the 2 hour because it probably looks, oh yeah, a little weak on the 2 hour. So yeah, I would look for a. Well, shucks. Okay, so this is what it's always hard for me to describe what I'm seeing, what I'm looking at. So let me try and explain that with an Elliott wave here. This is not an Elliott wave. This is just the kind of action that I could see this doing, right? And starting a sideways momentum here. And then, of course, right, at some point, it's just going to go up, would be the idea. Let me make this red because I prefer that to be red in 4. But you get the idea, right? At some point, it would go up. And that's against BTC, right? So it depends on what your trading pair is. On the USD, it's fairly similar. I mean, I see parallels way too much, as would be my guess. So the safer bet might be once it breaks this last, what does that look like on the 1 day again? Because it looked much better on the 1 day. Yeah. Yeah, I would, mm, if you're trading on the day, I would wait. I would wait till you get a 2 trading above the 1, right? Although you didn't get that. Boy, buyer beware on that one. Um, Not saying anything about the coin, but I'm not sure I would jump in right now, right? So on the 1 hour, this I would want to already see this flipped on the 1 hour before I jumped into it, is the thing. So on the 4 hour, yeah. On the 4 hour, I would want to see it bust that line, at least. I would at least want to see it go above that line, right there. Nothing scientific about it. Uh, the Let me get that out here. The VMC market cipher called that as a buy earlier, though. Now, whether or not that pans out, which it looks like it's been getting some buy signals on there. 2 hour? Yeah, 2 hour. You got a buy signal way back here, and you're already running out of steam on the TD sequential. All right, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna do. So I'd say the price to watch would be 31, right? 31 cents. Definitely want to see it beat that. Okay, so yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I am watching BTC, I am watching BNB, right? So on the 2 hour, we're already getting a downward red 9, and the 5 hour is looking like an indices doji to me. Should be like a spinning top. But it might be a dragonfly. You never know. All right, well, have a good day, and make sure that when you're up, to take your profits, to plan when you're going to take profits, unless you're going to just golden hands, because the next week could be choppy.